welcome. I'm Ari Lax, and I'm here with a new Aether Revolt fueled modern deck that was played to a second place finish at the Catskill Star City Games Regionals by Dan Ward. So the new card is Kari's Expertise. It's got some text about gaining control of stuff, but its real text is the second part. So you may cast a card with converted mana cost 2 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. So the immediate broken things that the expertises can do in Modern, you can cast the no-cost spells the same way you can cascade into them. So we're talking Living End, Restore Balance. But the real interaction that's being abused is with split cards. So originally the split cards are cards like Boom Bust, and if you have a card like Boom Bust and you say, I want to cast a card that costs 2 or less, you say, okay, this card does have that characteristic. I would like to cast it. And then you decide how you want to cast it. And you would like to cast the bust half of it. And then you destroy all lands. Great. So, the interesting thing that the expertises do that previous iterations of this don't is they cast the card from your hand. So the first thing people looked at with expertise was Beck Call. So you can cast both halves of it because it's cast from your hand. And then you would draw 4 cards, make 4 birds. Cool. What if we went bigger? What if we put a creature from our deck into play, like an Emrakul or a Griselbrand? And what if you could splice this kind of naturally into an existing shell that's already doing those things? And so that's where we get this Goryo's Vengeance deck. Pretty straightforward. You just have a million ways to put your big creatures into play, a bunch of mana, and some cantrips. Best cantrip in the format. Pretty strong cantrip that also is the cheapest way to chain into a Goryo's. Pretty relevant because you have to respond to the Emrakul trigger with Goryo's Vengeance to actually get it back. Cathartic Reunion just digs deep and also discards cards. This is interaction that also discards cards, so you get to double up on the slot. Though you can do similar stuff with Thoughtseize, targeting yourself to take the Emrakul. Let's see. Main deck's not super in-depth. You can cast Entering for its normal cost, so it does have utility even if you don't draw the Kari Zev's Expertise. This card does not have a lot of utility on its own. Similar number of fast lands as previous iterations of this deck. You just have more Spire Bluff Canals because your early spells are blue and red, not black. And then Forbidden Orchard to enable Kari Zev's Expertise. Worth noting, you do get to take the 1/1 to get a chip shot extra damage for all it's worth. And then Simian Spirit God does get a interesting, cool role in this deck that's not typical, which is you get to cast it after making them sacrifice all the permanents and take 15 to finish them off with a 2/2 post Emrakul. So, main deck's pretty straightforward. Oh, also worth noting, this is another way to get a little bit of chip shot damage in post Emrakul. Sideboard, bunch of cheap kind of piece interaction. Dispel better against counter magic, Spell Pierce a little better against discard and certain permanents, and opposing combo a little bit, so a bit of a split there. Cheap removal, cheapest guaranteed removal there is in the format on both parts. Thoughtseize is more discard that you can again target yourself with, and another Brutality for a similar role there. Some sweepers against the fast aggressive decks, along with the expertise to layer up there. Some artifact interaction because, I don't know, just lets you do it if you need to. And Painful Truths, this is a pretty awesome card here. It lets you board heavier on interaction, but it also lets you fight back against opposing interaction. So it kind of plays this dual role in a lot of good ways. So Dan did pretty well with this list, and I'm excited to see what the new components really bring to the table.